Good morning, everybody, afternoon, whatever. This is Brian with Brian's Auto and Diesel Repair, and today we are going to put back together this F-150 upper and lower intake. We finally got our parts in to finish it up, so I am going to give you I got the privilege of showing you how this thing goes back together, okay? So we're going to start off and clear all our stuff out. It's been sitting here for a day or two. Waiting on us and waiting on the parts. We're getting all our parts together here, and as soon as I get everything together, there's our EGR right there. There's our pillow. Pull our pillow out. Oh my god, it's been so long. All right, so coast on, coast maximum. Okay, now look, we got all of it clean. You want all this to be super clean, and I even cleaned down in the holes as much as I could. Clean all that as best you can, because we're about to put our gaskets down, and I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, make sure this whole area is clean, and then also make sure your injector assembly is all clean too. Make sure your O-rings are good on your injectors, so when we put it back together and we won't have any leaks. So what I'm fixing to do right now is get all my gaskets ready, and we'll come back to the next portion of the video and show you how to put the gaskets on and install this lower intake. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, you're gonna put all your intake gaskets in. Make sure that these line up or they won't fit right. Get all 6 of those installed, and then you come up here and you get your gaskets installed here for your lower intake. Make sure these fit together like a puzzle. When you're putting it together, they're going to fit real snug to each other, because this is 4 separate pieces here, but they fit together like a puzzle. So make sure when you put it together, they fit in there. Those little teeth fit in with each other, and everything's flush and down against the motor, okay? There's dowel pins in these gaskets that fit in here, and what I had to do is some of the old gasket was stuck in where the dowel pins go, so you got to dig it out with a scribe so this fits in there, snaps in. If this don't snap in there, you need to look at your dowel pin holes, your lineup holes. There's probably some plastic still stuck in them. So next we're going to install the lower intake. Coast on. Alright guys, here's the intake, the lower intake. Like I said, you're going to have 13 bolts. We're going to tighten our 8mm head bolts first. They're the inside bolts here. Right here, right here, right here, right here, here, and here first, okay? So that's what we're going to do first. We'll start in the middle and work our way out. Not too much torque, just snug it. You don't have to have a ton of torque on it. So now we're going to move to our 10mm bolts. They're going to be the outside bolts. And let me just switch my socket. Start in the middle again. Don't forget that bottom one there on the intake. And then you got one back here in the back. You got to do it by feel, but it's back there. I just usually get it with my hand. Let me put this here so it can somehow stick there, and I'll show you how I do it. I put my hand back here, I can feel it. Then I put my socket on. See, I'm on it now. It's tight. So that's our lower intake, guys. It's 13 bolts all together, and make sure they're all tight, and then we'll move on to the upper intake. We got to plug in our plugs. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not going to go to the upper intake. We're going to, where's my other harness at? There was another plug down here somewhere, wherever it went. I gotta go find this wire. It's right here. Okay, maybe not. Anyways, I'll find this wire, and next we're gonna plug this wire in right here. Right here, we'll find it and plug it in, and then we're gonna put in our you know what, it's probably on the whatchamacallit, the fuel injector thing. So we'll install that next. Our fuel injectors are going to get installed next. All right, guys, look, check this out, man. We got the lower intake tightened down. Next, you're going to get your fuel injectors, and you're going to install them. So I put a little STP around the O-rings before I set it down, and when you set it down, make sure they're lined up and everything with the holes, and just kind of put a little pressure down, and you'll feel it pop into place. When it pops into place, here's your bolt holes, should be lined up right here. See the bolt holes? It's kind of hard to see, but right in there, there's your bolt hole, and there's another one back here. It should be lined up. There it is, right there. See it? So you get those lined up, you're gonna find your 4 bolts. They're gonna match. They look like this. They're all gonna match. They're gonna have the same washers. You're gonna have quite a few bolts, so make sure there's 4 of them and they match. And you're gonna install just like that. One there, and one right there, just like that. There's one, there's 2, one right there, one right there, and you got 2 on this side over here. Very hard to see unless you go over here, just like right there. Anyways, there's 2 bolts on each side. There's gonna be one right in this area, and there's one right back here in this area, right there. So if you can't find them, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Well, I got all 4 of mine started, so I'm gonna tighten those down, push down real good before you tighten them down, and we're gonna tighten those down. We'll move on to the next step. Got that installed. We got our 4 bolts tight on our injectors. Now we're gonna make sure this fuel line, your fuel supply, is popped in, which it is. I'm trying to lift it up and it won't, so it clicked in. Then you're gonna put your lock on it like so, something like that. Shit. It's hard to do it with one hand, y'all, but it's what it is. So we got it locked in. You'll see it right there. That's how it's supposed to look. It's locked in. Then you're gonna plug this fuel pressure regulator in right here. Bam. That's plugged in. Now make sure you got your injector harness plugged in right here, and make sure this box is plugged in right here. That box right there where my thumb is. Make sure it's plugged in, or you'll have to pull the damn intake back off. and you don't want to do that. So all that's done. All 13 bolts are tight on our lower intake. Our 4 bolts on our injectors is tight. Everything's plugged in the back. Our next thing is our thermostat. We're going to install our thermostat right now. You got 2 bolts that hold it in, and a gasket and a thermostat in between. And it looks like this right here. So this gasket sticks to here, but be real careful. I would make sure it sticks, because we got to go in at a weird freaking angle, man. Like this. Let's pull this out. Pull this hose up and out of the way. So we got to put this sucker in like that, just like that right there, and I got to work my bolts in there. So I'm going to need 2 hands to do this, but you want to get your 2 8mm bolts. They're going to be kind of long, a little long. These right here should work. We're going to put these 2 bolts in there to hold that thermostat in. Just take your time and make sure that gasket doesn't fall or get tore up when you're putting it in. And I usually get a magnet or an extension with a socket and put my bolt on it and kind of work it in there very carefully. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to get video of it, or I'll try and get video of it, but I don't know if you're going to see. So I'll try and get video of it, okay? But I don't know if this is going to stay in place here, but we'll try, okay? I'm going to try just for your sake. There's 1 bolt. Now, very carefully, don't drop the bolt. Alright, we got it stabbed. Now there. Got it stabbed, that's a good sign. We'll do our best to start it. Alright, we got it started, guys. Take your time when doing this, and you get it done pretty easy, like I just did. If you don't take your time, that's when you usually mess up. Sorry, guys. Alright, I hope y'all saw that. I got them both in. New gasket, new thermostat. Man, this thing's coming together better than it came apart, y'all. Alrighty, guys, we got the intake done or installed. Remember, you got 4 bolts on each side. Make sure you tighten those 4 bolts. Get those nice and snug. Then you got 3 hoses back here. This one runs all the way up here to the front. The one on the driver's side over here, it runs from down here up to here. Then you got the plug-in quick connect one, big one. It snaps in. Then down here you got a hose here on the intake right here. And then you got your fuel pressure regulator. Make sure you plug that in too, that hose. And it goes up and around the intake over here. Ends up coming over here. It'll be on your EGR, connected to your EGR or whatnot. we're gonna put that on next, so I'll show you how to do it. Make sure this hose is on right here with your clamps. Make sure your throttle body's plugged in. Make sure this hose is connected, and those clips are hard as heck to get done. And then those spark plug wires I had you number, plug those back in too as well. 1, 2, and 3, however you numbered them. So our next step, after all this is done, all our hoses are connected and everything, we're gonna put our EGR on next. So get ready to do the EGR next. And also, I forgot, we got this one too. It plugs up as well somewhere. I gotta figure out where. I think it's the air filter housing, if I'm not mistaken. It goes like this. No, maybe not. Maybe it goes back here. I can't remember. Okay, let me figure that out and I'll let y'all know exactly where this baby goes right here. Okay, I do know it goes right there on the valve cover here, but I gotta figure out where the other end goes. So once I figure that out, I will let y'all know where I put it, okay? All right. Look. That hose I was showing you earlier went to this air filter housing. So you're gonna put your air filter housing in. You're gonna make sure it's plugged up. Here's your plug. You're gonna make sure it's plugged up with your plug plugged up. This is where that pipe went right here. You follow it around. It goes around this oil fill deal, and it plugs in down here on your PCV valve, or that valve that's sitting out right there. Then you tighten your 8 right here. Make sure everything's tight. Got all that done. Now on the EGR, what I did was I put the gasket and the bolts together on the EGR first and ran the bolts through the gasket, because it's a metal gasket that held that gasket in place so we wouldn't drop the gasket. Then what I did was I held it here and got a extension, which fell on the ground just now. Hold on. All right, I got an extension with a socket, and what I did was I ran it through by hand, and I started both bolts, 10mm head bolts, by hand first. Once I started those, I left it loose, right? There's a reason for that. I left it loose so I can move it around and start this nut right here by hand, the 27mm nut. I got it started by hand. Make sure you start this nut by hand. Do not cross thread this, or you're going to run into a whole bunch of problems. Or the 10mm. Make sure you start those by hand too. Get them started by hand first, then you're going to run your 10s in, then you're going to tighten your 27mm nut by hand. Tighten it down. After we're done with this, we're going to put our 2 bolts in that hold this little bracket deal here down, and I think we're ready to start it up. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this stuff up here. Oops. Tighten this stuff all up here and get my bolts back in right there. And we're going to start this bad boy up. After we get it started and running, just for a second, I'm just going to make sure it runs, no misfire or nothing. At that point, we're going to do the oil change on this truck. So that's it, y'all. Finish this job up. I want to go ahead and show y'all everything real quick, because I don't know, I kind of got sidetracked a little bit, and so I want to kind of show y'all everything. We did do an oil change on it, so this is everything here. Everything's coast flood, coast spot, okay, coast maximum. So this is everything. Everything's put back together. Did an oil change, no leaks. We're gonna take it back to my brother tomorrow, my customer. So if you like this video, please please hit the like button, and please subscribe, and that would help me out. If you have any questions, just comment. I'll answer you as soon as I can. Everybody have a wonderful day. Bye bye.